In Genesis 39, we find that Potiphar, an officer in Egypt's military, had a lavish household with great wealth and privileges. And now he has Joseph, a brilliant, talented young man, to manage it for him. Joseph managed it so well that Potiphar did not have to spend 1 minute worrying about how his estate was being run. But inside that happy set of circumstances loomed a malignancy, a cancer that had the power to kill everything. That malignancy was Potiphar's wife. She was a wicked, calculating, immoral woman, and she set out to get what she wanted, even if it meant destroying the very roof over her head. She set her eyes on Joseph and decided to seduce him. She invited him to her bed, but then got the shock of her life. He said to her, "How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" I first heard this story when I was very young, and it had a powerful impact on my subsequent behavior. I learned early on that sin ultimately is against God. Yes, Joseph would have sinned against Potiphar and against himself and against his heritage, but ultimately sin is against God, because it is God who determines right and wrong. He is the moral arbiter of the universe. In fact, you could argue that without God, there is really no such thing as right and wrong. David understood this. After his sin with Bathsheba, he confessed to the Lord, "Against thee and thee only have I sinned." When I was very young, I learned that we obey the Bible's moral teaching because we obey God. We do not have to have any other reason. Now, there are always lots of practical reasons for obeying God, but the Christian does not need other reasons. He only needs to do what God wants him to do. Mrs. Potiphar does not give up. She continues to tempt Joseph. Satan does not give up. I remember those chilling words in Luke 4. After tempting Jesus and failing, the text says, "And when the devil had ended every temptation, he departed from him until an opportune time." An opportune time. You may have successfully warded off the devil this time, but remember, he will come around again. Finally, she grabs Joseph's tunic, but he pulls away from her, leaving the coat in her hand. Joseph has hurt Mrs. Potiphar's feelings. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and she becomes a malicious, vindictive beast. Her feelings are so hurt, she decides to tell a destructive lie. She says to everyone within earshot, "Look what this Hebrew slave has done. He tried to take advantage of me, but I, being the virtuous woman I am, fought him off." When Potiphar comes home, his wife shows him Joseph's tunic and repeats the lie. "This Hebrew slave of yours tried to take advantage of me, but I heroically resisted." Joseph had already been the victim of a terrible crime, the treachery and duplicity of his brothers. That resulted in his becoming a slave. You would think that would be enough, that God would ease up on him now and deliver him from evil, but God did not. Joseph is now the victim of another terrible crime, the lie of an evil woman. Is this ever going to end? Yes, it is. But God has planned some very important steps first. In our next video, we will look at what they are.